Welcome back to your favorite new movie review YouTube channel, Man Cinema Reviews, with its lovely host, as always, Peter Mann. It's your boy. What's up, y'all? Before we get into the dual format of Honk For Jesus, Save Your Soul, and on the count of 3, you gotta do a couple of things for me, and that is to press like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well to notify you of any and all reviews to this channel. Thank you very much for choosing Man Cinema Reviews. We'll go with the first film, Honk For Jesus, Save Your Soul. This is the directorial debut of Adama Ebo from Monkey Paw Productions. This is about the First Lady, Trinity Childs, and her husband, Reverend Lee Curtis, escaping a scandal, and they want to revamp their mega church in Atlanta, Georgia. And in doing so, they bring a crew. Basically, this is a pseudo documentary. You can categorize it as a mockumentary. And that is when a whole mess of events ensue. So starring in this film is Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall. Both make very incredible performance happen in this film. And going into it, I didn't know its biting satire of organized religion, being critical of these mega churches that pop up in the South. This is basically just being critical of the organized Southern Baptist Church. But this is coming from a personal place. The director and producer, twin sisters, kind of just base it on growing up in Atlanta and belonging to the Baptist Church and seeing figures like the main characters. I have to say that I was ready for an uproariously hilarious satire, and what I got instead was a very dark comedy, if you will. I didn't know its biting satire until I sat with the film. And I think I was looking for something a little bit more colorful, a little bit more vibrant. I did not expect it to take a dark turn as it does. But with that, I think I should have known that it being a Monkey Paw Productions, I knew it had some political commentary on organized religion. I just didn't know how far they were going to delve into that, and how far that the satire was going to push the envelope as well. And like I said, I do like movies that do this, and I do appreciate some biting satire, but I also expected it to be at least somewhat amusing. Now, there are scenes between Hall and Brown that are uproariously funny. I will say the Nuck If You Buck scene in the car where they're both reciting hip-hop lyrics. You just don't expect it from these two performers. But that was probably the highlight as far as the comedy is concerned. What you get, that you take away the most, is just pretty great performances by Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall. Very unexpected. There are moments that are very poignant and that relate to the social commentary of just the community embracing its Southern Baptist roots, but also getting into the corruption that does ensue with the organized religion. And I do like Nicole Bahiri in this film. I thought she was great in here as well as in Breaking, but I was just expecting it to be a little bit more funny than it was. As far as a comedy, it's a little wooden. And when I say a little, I'm undercutting it because it's very wooden. The comedy is just taking a backseat when I really think that they can kind of attack it head on. But I do appreciate the performances, amazing performances by Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall. And there is some comedic chops between them. There is great chemistry. And again, I didn't expect it to be as dark as it was. So it's kind of a mixed bag for me. Ultimately, I do like what this movie is saying. yeah, I don't know its approach, and I don't know if it definitely delivered on what it was trying to convey. So with that, I will give it a strong but so commendable 2.5 stars. Going on to the directorial debut of Gerard Carmichael in On the Count of Three. This is a film that he both stars and directs, as well as Christopher Abbott co-starring. This is about two friends on their last day on Earth together. And that's pretty much all I want you to know about the film. I want you to take a journey between two men that are deeply affected, that definitely need counseling. They need their mental health to just be brought at a 10 because they are at a 0. They are basically at their last resort, and they make a suicide pact, yet one of them convinces the other to make good on their promise by the end of the day, because they have to both work out some kinks, they have to mend some relationships. And with that, I think that this film is towing the line, and what I think that Honk For Jesus should have done is play with the comedy and its very salient and deadpan severity of suicide. Again, it plays a juggling act, and it does so eloquently. And it being Gerard Carmichael's directorial debut, I was very impressed by what he is capable of doing as a filmmaker, as well as, you know, starring in this vehicle. It's very daunting to do both in your directorial debut, but he does it very beautifully. And it's surprising co-starring performances by Tiffany Haddish, JB Smoove. I was definitely impressed by what this film was doing. And the chemistry between Christopher Abbott and Gerard Carmichael is great. You really get the sense that they are best friends, and they play well off each other. Both performers just take chances on one another. They believe in one another, and it shows with their performances. There's also a great performance by Henry Winkler that takes a dark turn. And these two reviews are films that are supposed to be comedies, but they take drastically dark turns. In this film, however, I think it delivers tenfold On the Count of Three. You're just not expecting the humor and the severity of suicide to just, you know, gel and, you know, mix and be an amalgam of each other. And at its very poignant strengths, I just think that this film is so beautifully shot. I think there's a rhythm, there's a poetry to it that absolutely made me wince, made me laugh, made me cry, just really just had an amalgamation of emotions. So with that, it is one of my favorite films of the year. The only thing that I dock it for is that you can kind of tell that this is a directorial debut, but like I say with most directorial debuts, I definitely see the filmmakers just the start of their careers at being a director. But I feel like with Gerard Carmichael, it will definitely blossom with the more and more output of films he does as a director. There's definitely a voice, there's definitely a passion, but the film feels kind of disjointed in points. They're just dealing with a lot of heavy-handed issues, but they do it so eloquently that I do forgive some of the film's shortcomings and just very minuscule mishaps, and just telling a beautiful story of two best friends being there for one another. This film damn near made me cry by the last frame, and you know how these films do when they can do that, when they can get to my emotional core. This is one of my favorite films of the year. I will give this film a strong, nearly perfect 5 stars. 4.5 for On the Count of 3. Thank you very much for choosing Man Cinema Reviews. Be on the lookout. I just watched the live action Disney Pinocchio. Got some things to say about that film. Don't worry. Surprisingly, there's some good things. As well, I'm on the layout to see the new horror film Barbarian. So you'll be seeing more reviews for the coming videos. So stay tuned.